My name is Caleb Burley, and I'm here to tell you that you're fantasizing wrong.
My name is Sammy, and who are you?
And this is Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
What's up, all you Junk House fans, all you house junkies, you junk heads,
homegirls,
junksters,
non-bis,
home non-bees, hey, whatever, whatever you identify as, you're welcome, and you are loved here. So, Sammy, how are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday was my first day training at a new job, and it was all about it's at a tea place, and I'm learning about tea and tea and tea.
I love tea. I don't think that is like I don't know. I don't think that's something that I like talk about a lot, but that's like one of my deep
One of your passions?
one of
Would
my
you
deep
say it's
passions.
okay? Yeah, it's really crazy, like how much you can do with tea. And I tried
Right?
so many different teas. We have over 140 different teas.
Yeah. I've tried, I think I've tried around 30 teas from that place.
Okay.
And every one of them I really like.
They're baller. My favorite so far is a rooibos. That's the type of tea, and it's called lemonade stand.
I love lemonade stand.
It's incredible.
First of all, a rooibos tea is just my favorite in general because they usually you can get 2 or 3 steeps out of those before the leaves are truly cashed.
Yeah, I think they are quickly going to become my favorite. I just haven't really had them until I started working here.
I think a lot of American perception of tea is there's green tea and there's black tea and that's it. But there are so many variations, and if you ever get the chance to try yerba mate, I don't know if they do that there.
I think we have yerba mate.
I really like yerba mate with just a little bit of simple syrup in it to help sweeten it up. Ooh.
And we have lavender syrup. I said lavender like an animal.
Ooh. But
that could be a D&D animal though.
A lavender?
A lavender.
Yeah.
That's like a fey creature.
Absolutely it is.
But yeah, tea job, I think it's going to go great. The owners also put on a 10-week tea course to make you a tea specialist with actual tests along the way and tea tastings.
That is so cool.
So
I love that.
I'm definitely jumping in on that.
Yeah. In my life, I am getting ready to order the groom's party gifts for my wedding. Yeah. I think you guys are really gonna like it.
Do I need to do we need to pick out teas that I can buy for each person?
Oh.
Don't listen. No. Don't listen to this.
No, but I may resend a question that I had already asked in the wedding chat that we have in our Discord server. That way I can make sure I get the answers from everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on in my life. Other than football season's about to start, so that will take up a part of my life.
Doing some fantasy leagues?
No, I've never done that. I just I like a Southern person grew up with parents that were obsessed with football and kept up with it, and I never really cared about it until I hit about 20, and then out of nowhere I was like, "Oh no, I get it."
Okay, sports. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, sports. Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I haven't reached that point. For me, it's still kind of
It's
like
fine.
ball toss.
Yeah. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. And it's okay to not like football.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah. But I'm curious what you think about my topic, because you know what my topic is.
Yes. I think we are going to disagree. At least initially, I kind of disagree. Because the idea of Caleb's topic is that there are a lot of TTRPs out there, and D&D isn't necessarily like the best one for a
What
lot of
you want to
ideas.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this stems from something that I've always thought, which
Okay.
is having a diverse knowledge of TTRPGs is going to be the best in the long run, you
Oh, of
know?
course. Yeah.
And so many people play D&D and then stop there. And
Okay.
then just kind of go under the assumption that, well, D&D is the best thing for whatever campaign setting I'm doing.
Okay.
And
Yes.
while
Yeah.
I think under its current iteration of D&D 5e, I'm not going to touch on the D&D 1 that's
Yeah.
about to happen. I
In like 2
I
years.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to launch next summer and it's
Yeah.
supposedly in like beta testing now, but like the beta rules I also really don't like. I think
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. I Have you read some of the beta rules that
I've
have come
read
out?
the most I've read is like the racial stuff. And I
So,
think that's pretty cool because the big thing with the racial stuff is them being like, they added a lot more like actual benefits and random junk. And they
mhm,
changed it to, it seems like it's a lot more balanced. But my favorite thing is the like, if you want to be biracial, it's like,
mhm.
hey, do that. You pick one as like your main, but you can take benefits from the other one. So you just can like choose to be like
Yeah.
your heritage. It seems cool and more open, at least racially.
Uh, and I think that's really good. They've made it codified, which this was like a house rule for a lot of people, and they
Yeah.
just codified it, which I don't like. If something is a house rule, I don't like it to be codified. I want it
Okay.
to
Yeah.
remain like optional. Is that nat 20s are auto success no matter what the skill check is.
That is a little dumb, but you can also
And
just disregard that.
you can, and that nat ones are success or auto failures no matter what your bonuses are.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't like that. Also, NPCs cannot crit. You cannot crit
Interesting.
hit. If like
Okay.
NPCs can't crit hit, and wizards rolling. Like if a wizard has to roll an attack, a nat 20 is no longer a crit. It only counts for physical attacks using a weapon or a bare fist.
Okay. That's a little annoying and dumb.
It's very annoying, very dumb. I very much dislike it. But anyway, D&D 5e rules as written currently before D&D 1, I think is a really well done system. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy to learn. Um
Way easier than earlier editions,
oh my gosh,
especially.
I
What
in
was it that had like
D&D
the THACO score?
that would be advanced D&D, also known
Yeah.
as D&D 2, which THACO stood for to hit AC 0, and it was a very complicated system that was very dumb.
A lot of math.
Yes. Anyway,
Anywho.
I love a lot of TTRPG systems, and I think D&D in its current form can be manipulated a lot to fit a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
But there are TTRPG systems out there that are good for any scenario, no manipulation needed.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And so that is kind of my thought. Like if you're going to do fun campy like 80s horror, maybe go with Monster of the Week. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good system for that. Or if you want to go for like, yet again, 80s horror, but like psychological hardcore trigger warnings needed, Kids on Bikes is pretty appropriate, despite the name being Kids on Bikes.
Yeah.
And then of course, like also Pathfinder exists. So if your table is like, if your like table is full of people that have been playing for a long time and want something very crunchy and rules hard, try Pathfinder. I and there's so many things that I'm just like, we're ignoring this. And I think D&D kind of gets the spotlight too much, which
Yeah.
bothers me.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's kind of like my problem with like the same problem I have with like if people just kind of like I'm trying to think of like another example of this. But like when a big thing become or one small section of a big thing becomes the shorthand for it. So like
Yeah.
D&D becoming a lot of people's just shorthand for I'm going to go play a tabletop RPG with my friends. For most
Yes.
people, some people
Yeah.
just say I'm going to go play D&D when they're not playing D&D. You know, they're
Yeah.
playing whatever.
Like a parent saying, "You gonna go play on your Nintendo?" when it's like
Yes,
Xbox.
yeah. I hate that. It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you know play on your Nintendo?" I haven't owned a Nintendo in 20 years,
What's a
grandma.
Nintendo?
What are you talking about?
I
I'm
only
gonna go
play Call
jack
of
into the
Duty.
VR space.
Yeah. I'm gonna go jack into a VR hole.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
that is kind of my like overall frustration.
Yes, which I understand and probably and agree with. Now knowing that more, I think I do agree with you.
What were you thinking when I sent just like
Well, I just like I guess I was originally thinking just like that D&D can't be manipulated in the way that you said earlier.
well, and I think there are some cases where like D&D cannot be manipulated
Yeah.
in some ways. And like I think that if you're okay, just an example. Season 1 of our other podcast.
Yeah.
I DM'd a basically space weirdness fun time.
Yeah. Space Odyssey type
Yeah, Space
beat.
Odyssey type D&D campaign. And we used D&D 5e. It worked. It
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
It was good. There were problems with the narrative that I was aware of as they were happening, but I couldn't do anything about it because a lot of
Yeah.
stuff behind the scenes that I choose not to air into public.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
Looking back, I think I could have used OG Spelljammer and it probably would have
Okay.
been better. Or Starfinder, which is Pathfinder's space version.
Yeah. I've
Um,
heard that's really good.
yeah. And there were other things that I could have used, but I think out of fear that those would not be relatable to an audience, I used
Gotcha.
D&D.
Yeah.
And it I don't think it necessarily suffered from that, but it could have been done better.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Um And the current season we're playing in Call of Cthulhu, which is a very fun system that I very
Yeah.
much enjoy. Imagine trying to play Latin Club, which is our current season in D&D, and it just falls apart.
I think you could do it. I think you
Really?
could. Yeah. Especially watching like recently like A Court of Fey and Flowers by Dimension 20. Like
Okay, I have not seen it yet, but
they're doing 5e and there's been barely any combat. It's all been like very much interpersonal relationship. The biggest thing is reputation. I feel like, yeah, I feel like the way that we have used D&D with like Nat Wonderful, it still probably wouldn't have been the best, but
Mm-hmm.
I think my worry with Call of Cthulhu is that it is less relatable to audience members, not because of people having not played it, but because it is such a chunky, crazy, there's so much information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's why like I think I've already said it. Maybe I've said it on this podcast, but I know I've said it to members of that wonderful,
Yeah.
and I think I've even talked about it to Olivia. So is that like if I do a second season
Hmm.
as DM, it's gonna be probably in Kids on Bikes, and it's
Yeah.
probably going to be like true horror, like to where I'm probably gonna have to talk to you guys before the season starts and be like, "Hey, here's a list of trigger warnings. Tell me what you don't want, and it will be gone." Because
Yeah.
that's just where we're gonna be.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun,
Terrifying.
but
Oh god.
yeah, and like I, you know, I think in the case of like Dimension 20 specifically, since they
Yeah.
have a tabletop that they actually play at and they film the movement of the minifigures and stuff, combat is perfect. But in the case of like Not Wonderful, where we don't have a tabletop that we play at, we all
Yeah.
play over Discord and just talk to each other. Combat has always, like, especially since I suck at DMing combat
Same.
was kind of the weakest part of season 1, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It was not
We did kind of
good.
like immediately kill the big bad. I feel
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah. But I'm gonna highlight some other fun TTRPGs,
Yeah. Do it,
and
baby.
it'll be very good.
It'll be great.
So, one that I really love, if you like Dungeons and Dragons as a setting, you love Faerun, you love the
Neverwinter.
Lost Wilds, you love Neverwinter, you love Ravenloft, all this stuff, check out Dungeon World.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
a game to feel like you are overpowered from the get-go, Dungeon World is the way to go. A lot of your minor enemies have 1 hit point each, and
Okay.
you run through them.
Yeah.
And it is very fun. It is the Powered by the Apocalypse version of D&D, basically.
Hell
Even
yeah.
down to like the archetypes being fighter, ranger, all that stuff. It is incredibly fun. I've run a campaign in it. It is wonderful.
Hell yeah.
Um and it's similar to like Monster of the Week. It's like if Monster of the Week was like 20% more complicated.
Okay.
So, if you're familiar with Monster of the Week, which is going to be the next one, Monster of the Week is a 2d6 type system. It is incredibly fun. It is based around the idea of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, X-Files, Supernatural, where there's a new monster every week and you have to research it, fight it, hopefully beat it. If not, oh well, we figure it out.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're dead.
Oh, you're dead. Um Pathfinder is actually the first system I ever played.
Okay. I think
Yeah, OG.
same.
Yeah, I would believe it. I feel like Pathfinder was popular where we were for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know.
I think the first time game I actually played was like maybe 3rd edition D&D.
Okay.
But the first time I know I played Pathfinder with my friend Chance growing up.
Yeah. And 3rd edition, it was actually funny because 3rd edition and then there was 3.5
Yeah.
and there were people that worked on 3.5 that hated it so much that they actually went and did Pathfinder. Is
Oh,
kind of how it
okay.
happened. Yeah, which is why like people are like 3.5 and Pathfinder are so similar. Because part of the 3.5 clause was they were like Wizards was like, hey, if you don't like these rules, you can change them and make your own.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's not how systems work. And so they went and made Pathfinder and they were like, these are the rules. Suck it up.
Don't. Yeah. Yeah. You cannot change.
Do not change or else I murder.
I
Um,
kill.
yeah. Have I ever told you how I started playing like tabletop RPGs in general?
No.
If any of my high school friends that were in that group are listening, I'm sure you know this by now. Um, so I was in choir and one of my friends came up to me and was like, "Hey, yeah, would you want to hang out tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. What are you guys doing?" Basically telling me they're like, "Oh, we're playing D&D. We figured you'd probably played before, right?" And I said, "Yeah," and totally lied. Um, and showed up that night. And within 5 minutes, they were like, okay, well, we need to make you a character. And I was like, okay, cool. How do I do that?
They're like, oh, you haven't played.
Oh, you haven't. Yeah. And my first character was a drow sorcerer
Okay.
that his name was Elilambor.
Okay.
And his there were like with Pathfinder, multi-classing is so easy. I will say
Yeah.
that. And he multi-classed into a divination wizard. So he was sorcerer and divination wizard. But you have to take a penalty when you multi-class. That's like a little fun flavor thing. Like
Yeah.
at least that's the way it was in our campaign. Was like you can multi-class, but there's got to be a downside, you know?
Yeah.
And so Elilambor, or L for short, as everybody called him, was the divination would only work if he was incredibly drunk. And so he wouldn't remember it.
I love that. Oh my god.
And it was very which then caused a whole arc of L being an alcoholic
Yeah.
and that being a problem for the party.
Oh my god.
Yeah, cuz we started this like junior year and played all through like senior year and then still played a little bit in college. Like
Damn. Okay.
it was a long like every week campaign. And even later, like we did a one shot that was like the world 20 years later, and we all played our characters' kids
Okay.
or like somehow related to them, like a
Yeah.
student or something. And it was so fun.
That sounds so cool. I would love to do something like that.
It was very fun. And the last system I'm highlighting before we move on is one that I do own. And it is the Into the Tingleverse, the Chuck Tingle tabletop
Yep.
RPG system.
We have not
Uh
played on that wonderful yet, but we need
we
to.
we haven't played because I will not lie, it is a horribly built system.
Yeah.
Um
Fair.
but
We did
if you're not
play the Wendy's one, but
we
that
did
is.
play the Wendy's
I
one.
think that's in hell, right? That doesn't.
That's
exist.
that's in editing hell.
Editing,
Is
yeah.
what I've referred to it as before. It's just
Production
like
hell, yeah.
production hell. There you go. But yeah, I do have the Chuck Tingle TTRPG. Someday we will do it. We just all need to know that the tabletop RPG for Chuck Tingle is, if you know who Chuck Tingle is, this won't surprise you. It is
Yeah.
very sexual.
Erotic?
It is very erotic. It is all about gay sex and cowboys, dinosaurs, and unicorns having gay sex.
Doesn't he also do inanimate objects? Or is that somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he does inanimate objects too. But yeah, that's just kind of how it is.
So whenever we play, could I be a kitchen drawer?
I'm not sure about that. It has
Okay.
like set races you can be. Um,
But I want to be the kitchen drawer having gay
there's
sex
probably,
with a
there's
T-Rex.
probably, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably a way to do it.
Okay, we'll figure it out when we when we play. Oh
But
my
the
god.
but the Chuck Tingle RPG is called Into the Tingleverse. You can only buy it in paperback. No PDF exists of it, to my knowledge.
I mean, fair.
And it's not that expensive though. Like if you want to pick it up, it's like $15. And he has multiple expansions to it. I think there are like 17 books total for it now.
Holy
But
shit.
here's the fun thing. None of them are edited. So there are still spelling errors and grammatical errors, and some of the rules directly contradict each other.
Oh my god. That's just classic Chuck Tingle though.
It really is.
That's just classic Tings.
Classic things, which brings me into our game. Bum bum bum. One of these is a fake Chuck Tingle book, and the rest of them are real.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this better come back.
This
This is
will come back.
incredible.
So I'm gonna read you 5 Chuck Tingle book names.
Okay.
One of them is one that I made up,
Okay.
and I mean fully made up, not
Yeah.
like twisted the words.
Okay.
For those of you who know, for our listeners at home, Chuck Tingle is an erotica author that usually focuses on sex within the LGBTQ community, or writing books where consent is revoked at the last minute, and the people honor the revoking of the consent, and it winds up being a very touching last few pages of the book. He has won a Hugo Award for his book, "Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt," and it's a very good. But I've read quite a few for fun, and I'll tell a story after we're done with the game because I always have a story about whatever I'm talking about. Number 1. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1 of this game is "Pounded in the Book by My Book." Pounded in the butt by my book, pounded in the butt by my book, pounded in the butt by my own butt. By Chuck Tingle.
I've definitely seen Pounded into Bud by my own book, but I don't know if this is like a sequel. We're gonna say real.
Okay.
Number
Number
is
2.
that what I'm going for?
Yeah. You
okay.
can go through and just talk about each one.
Okay.
Number 2 is "Pounded in the Butt by my book, pounded 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 in the butt by my own butt."
Are each of these more okay?
No, I promise. No.
Okay. That one I'm gonna say is also real.
Okay, the next one would be "Pounded in the Butt by my irrational, bigoted fear of humans who were born as unicorns using a human restroom."
You know what? Something is calling to me and telling me that this is the fake one. I'll say yeah.
Oh, all right. Next up is
There's only one
living in.
fake one, right?
There's only one fake
Okay,
one.
okay,
That was
okay,
number
okay,
3.
okay.
So number 4 is "Living inside my own butt for 8 years, starting a business and turning a profit through common sense reinvestment and strategic targeted marketing."
Yeah, I sure we'll say that's real too. That feels crazy.
And last but not least, the final one, "Butt Night Buttle Royale."
I feel like I feel like he would write something. I'm sticking with the third is the fake one.
You're sticking with Which one was that? I'm trying to remember. I had them in a list, but the list is all like.
Yeah, yeah.
The third was it was right there. Oh, the third one was pounded in the butt by my irrational, bigoted fear of humans who were born as unicorns using a human restroom.
Yes.
That one is real.
No. Was the next one real? The one about the business?
Yep.
Okay.
The only one that wasn't real was one where I added one more pounded in the butt by my book.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I will say there are a lot of pounded in the butt by my books that leads eventually to pounded in the butt by my own butt. Because he keeps going. He keeps writing about the book coming to life and pounding him.
Oh.
Now,
there's more and more sequels.
There's more and more sequels.
Oh my god.
I think Chuck Tingle's hilarious. He's writing these in earnest, and now he is actually working with a publishing company on writing a 5-book series.
Okay.
So just keep your eyes out for that.
Keep your eyes on the shelves for that.
But so his first ever, what is known as his books are known as Tinglers. His first ever Tingler that really got like notice was the pounded in the butt by my own butt, but they are actually in separate categories because there are gay Tinglers, which are regular Tinglers,
Okay.
lesbian Tinglers, trans Tinglers, bisexual group Tinglers, gender fluid and or non-binary Tinglers, no sex Tinglers, and then bundles where you can get multiple Tinglers in one.
I love the no sex Tinglers because those would be what I would read.
Yeah, no sex Tinglers. Just a few of those, so I can just read you some of the names. Not pounded in the butt by anything, and that's okay. Not pounded in the butt by my book, not pounded in the butt by anything, and that's okay, and that's okay.
And that's okay, and that's okay.
Not pounded by anything while I practice responsible social distancing.
Whoa, that released during COVID, I assume.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And then absolutely no thoughts of pounding during my fun day with this kind T-Rex because I'm aromantic and asexual, and that's wonderfully valid way to prove love is real.
What can't this man do?
Absolutely nothing. He is a god among men. So a funny story about Chuck Tingle. There used to be a podcast where like minor celebrities and like other podcasters would come in and read a Chuck Tingle book without getting to read it beforehand.
Yeah, okay. I love that.
And I thought it was so fun. I loved it, and I wish it was still a thing. But it was called Pounded in the Butt by my own podcast, if you want to look it up.
Okay.
And there was once a episode where Justin McElroy from the McElroy Brothers fame read Pounded in the Butt by my handsome laundry detergent pod.
Oh my god.
Yes. It was very good.
That is incredible.
I was at the time a little peek into the past of Caleb Burley, a youth minister for a youth ministry in the town where I grew up. And I was driving back from Bible camp with these kids, with like 3 kids in the back, and they were all dead asleep and snoring. And so on the lowest volume I could, I was like, I'm going to laugh to keep myself awake. I'm going to listen to this. Because these were like all like older kids that had gone to Bible camp and stuff.
Yeah. So they would understand if they even heard it anyway.
Yeah, they would understand. And like, they're all fine. Like, I've talked to them about this, and they were like, "Yeah, that was actually very funny," and it
Yeah, that's
was yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Um, and so I'm just kind of like listening very quiet, like literally, like my car volume is 2, and I have made it to where all of it is coming out of the front speakers only, so it's just I can hear it only in theory. And then I hear snickering in the back, and I just pause it and I say, No, we're turning this off." But that was very funny. That was like the whole story. But yeah, that was fun.
Okay, we're turning this off now. That's very yeah.
Yep, it's fun. Yeah, Chuck Tingle is a very fun writer.
We need to have we'll have that segment again, and we'll have a whole episode where we talk about, maybe not a whole episode, but we'll talk more about Chuck.
Oh,
He'll
we
come
can
back.
release a special where I read a Tingler out
Ooh,
loud.
we'll
I
do
will
it
do
as a
that for the
stream, but
content.
then we'll record it so we can release it as a podcast as well.
Absolutely.
Well, we read reviews and they're really bad, so guess the movie.
Fuck yes.
Okay, so this one's another half-star reviewed. If you don't remember about the segment, we're reading these reviews from letterboxd.com.
Absolutely.
So there's two. The first one is just funny. As a 6-year-old, I wanted to off myself when I saw this. Okay, here's the start of
Ah.
the other one. I don't think it's fair to rate this movie as an adaptation. Obviously, it's nothing like the game and only has small connection through names and the fact that they're obvious word that would give it away. But nothing else is related. So instead, I'm rating this as its own thing entirely. Bad.
Ding ding ding. Resident Evil?
Incorrect.
Oh.
Maybe this will help. OMG, they predicted 9/11. What the absolute fuck? God, I hate this movie. A different half-star review. All right, I'll read that
I
sentence,
have
but I'll
no
put the
idea.
word back in.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's nothing like the game. It only has a small connection through names and the fact that they're plumbers.
The Super
The
Mario
Super
Brothers
Mario
movie.
Brothers movie.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen that movie?
I have not. I need.
It's horrible.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
where
Oh.
it is where it is canonized that their last name is Mario. Mario's
Yes.
name is Mario. Luigi's name is Luigi Mario
Luigi
because of
Mario.
this fucking movie.
And if I'm remembering right, there you go, Super Mario Bros. 1993. Yes, Bob Hoskins, who plays Mario, was not aware that Mario was a game.
Really?
Yeah, like
That
he
is
really
so
wasn't
funny.
aware when he signed on. It's like kind of like the urban legend.
That is hilarious. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, the subtitle of the movie apparently is "This Ain't No Game."
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm looking at the picture right now of the oh, that poster's just bad.
yeah.
Um but like the casting was also just interesting.
They made toads look disgusting.
They made Toad look disgusting. John Leguizamo is playing Luigi. Like,
It just is not. Yep.
yeah. And they didn't get Princess Peach. Princess Daisy is the princess they go for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not
Well,
good.
she's like the princess of Dino Land. Maybe they did something with that. I don't know. But
I
whatever.
mean, yeah, and like Dennis Hopper as Bowser. Let me
Yeah.
send you a
No,
picture.
I already know. It's
Oh yeah,
disgusting.
it's horrible. It makes no sense.
It makes puke.
None of the movie is good.
But you know what is good? And I'm kind of
What?
changing up my segment a little bit. That
Deal.
world we made with the cool magic system.
Absolutely.
So why don't we build a character that uses that food magic system? Maybe it
Okay.
could be like a side character in the story we initially write. It could be the bad guy. It could be
All
whatever
right.
you want to do. Or we could just this could just be a fleshing out more but of that universe, but specified on
Yeah.
like a type of character.
What kind of build are we looking at? Like what system we want to build this in?
Well, I guess we can just do like D&D as a placeholder.
Deal.
Because D&D Beyond is a thing.
Yep.
And that
I'm
makes it
actually pulling up a blank character right now.
perfect. So obviously we gotta homebrew this a little bit. Like it's gonna be. Ooh, I guess we could. Because we could use these classes as like,
And just remodify the
yeah. Because I think we still do a magic user.
Okay.
Because I just like gastromancy. I think that's what we call it. Gastromancy is just cool. But
Yeah.
what would a druid be?
I think a druid would be like
The vegan.
somebody it would be like a vegan. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Because I mean that's kind of already their vibe anyway.
Absolutely.
But maybe they deal with more like actual like the farming and growing of the special foods.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Hmm.
You got a homebrew mind flayer playable race?
Yeah, I do.
There's
Got it.
in For those who don't know, the new Spelljammer is coming out, I think by the end of this year. It
It's
might
out.
it's already out. Yeah. The one thing that I'm mad about is that they don't have a playable race for the penguin people.
Yeah.
There's these like space penguins that are all merchants and are like really conniving and seem to be really fun. Um they're all also rainbow colored. So it's basically Club Penguin except merchants.
Absolutely. So, I think we just got to go with human.
I was thinking human too, honestly. Just
Let's
regular.
go with a good old human. Where's my human?
Right there, right
There's
there.
my human. We got a variant human because it's a better
It's the
overall.
better human. It's the better version of human.
Languages don't really matter right now.
So I feel like if we were putting this in a system, I feel like the scores would be like intelligence and constitution. Cause like I feel like constitution is a big thing with
Yeah.
gastromancy.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to like go through a process. Okay, well, yeah. Is the magic food is that naturally occurring? Like, can anybody do this, or do you have to like go through a process to become a gastromancer?
I feel like anyone can do a low level of it. Like, but to get good at it and to be good at it, you've got to work and got to go through a
Yeah.
process.
So there's definitely like specific foods probably that are made to like it's probably not a fun process, but to strengthen your stomach for more magical uses.
Yeah.
And that could be probably part of the lichdom as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iron stomachs can be literal things.
Absolutely.
Oh, but what about a barbarian that has to eat a pepper to be enraged?
I feel like that's already a thing.
No, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Okay, but yeah. So who is this?
Who is this boy? And this is. We'll go back to here. This is, I think, the most important thing we need to do
The naming
is give this boy a name. I'm just gonna type out some ideas, and you can read them to our lovely audience.
Okay, yeah. Fuck boy. Okay, I think that's a great name.
Okay.
How
How do we feel about that?
Fuck.
Okay. I don't feel like this.
No, I like fuck. Okay, but now I'm getting down a different path.
Okay.
What? So what happens to food after you're done with it?
Shit.
So what if this guy was a fartmancer?
Oh hell yeah!
So
Fuck yeah! So this dude's Fartmancer.
Tony
His
Shid.
name's got his name. Yep. Tony Baloney shit.
Shids with a D.
What if? Okay, hear me out. Okay,
Tony
in quotes, baloney shids.
Baloney stank shids.
I fucking okay. Tony baloney stank shids.
So this is kind of a different kind of necromancy. Necgastromancy.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna look up.
He probably has the ability to. He kind of can airbend farts. He can probably use farts for different. Oh my god, that is a. Caleb Google searched generic fat Italian man, and we have found a stock image that we will be using for Tony Baloney Stank Shids. He's holding a pizza. He's smiling real big. It's incredible.
This is so good. Okay. I'm sending it. I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you.
Yes, please do.
Because listeners, this. Please do not edit out the bigstock.com.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because that's just so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is try and find cursed public domain imagery. So this is beautiful for me.
Oh my god. He's a warlock. He's a fartlock.
He's a fartlock.
He's a war fart.
He's a war fart.
His patron is Beans. Beans gives him power.
I'm gonna say, you know what? It says like, oh, pick 2 proficiencies. He's intimidating because no one wants to be around Tony Shid Stank. And you know what? He's very religious.
And
he believes he's worried about your walk with Christ.
Your walk with Beans.
He's worried about your walk with Beans.
With Beans
and Beans is, of course, a genie. What does the genie give us?
Oh, yes, because, oh my god, he comes out of a can of beans in a fart cloud. And his like lower half is a fart cloud.
So obviously he's an air elemental.
He's an air elemental. He's a fart elemental, more precisely. Excuse you.
Obviously, it's going to be Eldritch Spear because it's a sharp smelling. It's a sharp smelling fart, and it can blast a long way away.
Blast.
I have to like gift of the depths of my asshole.
Oh, and you have to choose the genie's vessel, and one of these on the website at least is a stoppered bottle.
Yes.
But what if it's just a can of amaranth farts?
Fuck yes.
Do you know about those?
This. Yes.
Okay.
I love that.
For the uninitiated, while you are doing that real quick, Amaranth is this attractive Twitch streamer who is very known for being sexy. And she sold her bath water and cans of her farts. I guess not cans. They were glass jars.
Okay, so I'm going through and picking what all our Eldritch Blast can do, and I have reasons for everything, and it's just based off the name, not because of like stats or anything.
Okay.
So far, we have Eldritch Spear because that adds 300 feet to the range.
Silent but deadly at very far distances.
Yes. Gift of the Depths, because Gift of the Depths of my asshole is the whole bit.
And he needs to be able to hold his breath and all that stank fart juice.
Exactly. Repelling Blast. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. Like no one wants to be around the stinky boy. Agonizing Blast, because it's going to be agonizing to be around that much fart juice all the time.
Yes.
Cloak of Flies, because flies go towards stinky thing. Other than that, I'm thinking, Maddening Hex, I feel like is perfect in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know. One with the shadows, because you got to be in a dark spot in your life to just be letting out toots everywhere.
Shids.
And Shroud of Shadow, because you know what?
It's silent but deadly.
Deadly.
Invisible but deadly. I'm loving this boy. Feel free, any of our listeners, to play Tony Baloney Stank Shids. But I will too, probably.
I was about to say, if you want, I feel like Pact of the Talisman, so he's got to keep that fart can on him.
Yeah.
I'm making charisma or dump stat, by the way.
Okay, fair. But listen to this. What if it's Pact of the Tome, and the tome is just a notebook of all of the places he's shit?
I dig it, because then we get to pick 3 spells.
Mage Hand, so he doesn't have to touch the poop. Yes.
I was about to say, where'd that go? Mage Hand, so he doesn't have to deal with his own shit. Obviously green flame blade, because the green fart gas.
Yes.
From like cartoons and stuff.
Also change Mage Hand to Mold Earth. Because everybody's just shooting out dirt, you know.
And of course, he's gonna have Eldritch Blast already, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna double
this. This is gonna be Toll of the Dead.
Or you could do Poison Spray or Prestidigitation.
I think Poison Spray is perfect.
It's coming out both ends.
You know you're dead when Tony Baloney Stank Shids bends over and says, "Take my poison spray."
Hey, here's my poison spray. Oh. He makes grunts like that every time.
An Arcanum spell. I feel like Circle of Death is so perfect.
Yeah.
Circle of Death. Tony Shids is gonna come. Yes.
It's Circle of Death, but Arcane Gate and or teleportation is very fun to think about him just shooting poop to random people. Using the power of farts to send shit to people. I love this.
More charisma and more constitution.
Yeah. But I love this.
I feel like for this one, so these are the options. We have Crown of Stars, Dream of the Blue Veil, Etherealness, cool, Finger of Death, Force Cage, Plane Shift, and Power Word Pain. And I feel like Power Word Pain is probably the correct choice.
I think either that or plane shift, specifically because this man is a master shitter.
That's right.
And he wants to shit on every plane of existence.
And I like to think of it as like the Wario shit from Super Smash Brothers, the Down B special. This is another one. Demi-plane, feeble mind, glibness, maddening darkness, and power word stun.
I feel feeble mind. People smell them farts and they just go dumb.
They just go dumb. I agree with you. Ability score improvement, obviously. Charisma, because he's a very charismatic boy. Look at that boy smile.
Look at him. He got a VR.
He's such a happy boy.
Oh my god.
And power word kill, and the power word is pull my finger.
I love this.
It's got it. And then obviously
we got
more charisma and one more to Constitution. This is a level 20 Master Warlock. Choose a generation method. It's gonna be manual / roll, and I'm not actually gonna roll because this boy has a 20 in everything, and maybe an 18 in everything.
Yeah, because I think the highest you can get is on the roll. The highest
18
you can get.
when you roll.
So technically, if you moved around, he could have 20s and everything. But we don't need that. He's just a shit.
We don't need that. He's perfect the way he is. Look at his smile. Open your Discord messages and look at this boy's sweet smile.
I already did. He's so sweet.
His background, he's obviously a master chef. Where
is that background? Is there just a chef background?
There may be just a chef background.
Maybe not.
I thought there was.
You can make your own. Well, he's a chef. We don't have to go through all this.
Or is he haunted?
Haunted by the
people
farts?
That he's haunted by the fart. And he's not going to stop investigating until he can learn what caused these farts to be so rank out of his butthole.
I mean, he already knows it's the genie, though.
He already knows, yeah. Obviously, he speaks primordial because of the farts and abyssal because of the farts. This boy is true good. Neutral good.
I feel like he's lawful evil.
Oh.
He's shitting and farting everywhere.
His faith is in beans. And obviously, he is aristocratic and very wealthy. Hair, perfect.
Skin, oily.
Oh, very oily.
I think we did it, though. I think we've created the perfect boy.
I think we did create the perfect boy. I'm just kind of going through and doing the last few things before we can, send this out to our loving listeners who want to play Tony Baloney Stank Shids.
Our Lord and Savior. I will be playing this man, or he will be showing up in High Seas.
As he should. Tony Baloney Stank Shids.
Hey, it's me, Tony Baloney. I'm related to Italian man.
Oh no. Oh no, not the Italian man. That was a fun character. But thank you to the one and only, the Reverendest of Reverends, Horton Heat, for allowing us to use the song Psychobilly Freak Out off of the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. It is a banger and a half. And you know what? It's Tony Baloney Stank Shid's favorite song.
It just is. I don't know what to tell you.
And he's a beautiful boy. If you want to follow us on Twitter,
yeah, it's at Junk House with a 0 instead of an O because someone stole the other one.
We'll kill them. Don't worry.
We'll kill them. If you want to send us a question or an email or a story or a fun anecdote or a kiss or a smile, you can do that at junkhousemailobox@gmail.com.
And if you want to leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, feel free to do so. We always appreciate those and we love them very much. If you have any critiques of the show, tweet directly at Mitt Romney. Directly just at Mitt Romney. Junkhouse sent me. Here are my problems.
Yeah.
And just like we say every week.
Did somebody open my amaranth fart jar?
I huffed all of it.
No, that costs like $1,000.
Too bad I huffed the fart.
No!
It's a psychobilly freakout!